Hello and welcome to Secrets of Organ Playing podcast. We are your hosts, Vidas
and
We've been mastering secrets of organ playing for more than 20 years and sharing them on this blog since 2011.
On this show, which we create from our home in Vilnius, Lithuania, we strive to help you grow in every area of organ playing, including practice, technique, repertoire, sight reading, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory, harmony, and many others.
Our hope is to help you become a complete musician, or what we call as total organist, a program which we have created to help you reach your dreams faster than you would do on your own.
If you are new here, we invite you to subscribe to receive free updates of this blog at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
And now let's go to the podcast for today. I'm here with Andreas Spahn from Germany, whom I met last Thursday, I would say, at Vilnius Cathedral during a recital of Lithuanian organist Balys Vaitkus. But before that, Andreas contacted me via email asking about an opportunity to hear me play because his son is going to start studying at the Vilnius University medicine department. So I mentioned him that recital at Vilnius Cathedral, and he came. It was a big surprise for me last Thursday. So really, I'm glad that we are meeting here at Vilnius University St. John's Church. This is Monday, and this is September the 2nd day. And today we have big celebration for the opening of the academic year at the university. And we're going to talk now a little bit in depth what Andreas is doing and what is he practicing and what is he working at church on and things like that. So thank you so much, Andreas, and welcome to the show.
Thank you, Vidas. It's a very big pleasure for me to be here in your podcast.
Excellent. Andreas, before we started this conversation, tried out this instrument for a while, playing some of the popular organ music, modern created organ music, and it sounded sometimes like music from the movies to my ears. And it seems like Andreas' congregation is enjoying this kind of music. So, Andreas, can you introduce your congregation to us and what you do there and what's your current environment?
Okay, yes. You know my name, Andreas Spahn, and I'm playing the organ since 35 years, the church organ. I started my training in organ or education in the organ first with an electronic organ. Mm-hmm. I think it was less than 10 years old and to start with it. And it have only a short pedal, 1.5 octave, and I'm too small to get the feet on that pedal. But I learned 4 or 5 years electronic organ, and then I changed and was beginning to play the church organ. Mm-hmm. And after some years, I made the C-level exam. It's a level for laypersons, training on the organ and training on the service and playing mass and so on. And at that time, you have to study liturgic singing, choir conductor, all those things, singing by self, singing in choir, hymnology,
Yes.
and all the stuff for organ building. It was a 3 years education.
Music theory, perhaps?
Yeah, music theory, ear training as well. It was a 3-year training to get organ.
And now you can play in church, right?
No, now I
Because of
play in
that.
church. Since 35 years, I play the service in church, in Catholic and Protestant church.
In which town?
Which town? It's now in a small town near Stuttgart in Leutenbach.
Leutenbach. Okay.
It's about 20 kilometers away from Stuttgart in Germany. In Leutenbach and in Winnenden, Birkmannsweiler Höfen, the small churches. And I played 3 very interesting organs, small organs, but very interesting and good instruments.
It was really interesting to hear you play, and you mentioned that the Lutheran congregation stays after the service and listens to your playing, while Catholic congregation just walks out in 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
So, do you think it depends on their education level about music or mentality, perhaps, or what is causing this difference?
I think it's how you impact the music in the whole service. So service starts with singing, or if the service starts with an organ music piece, or sometimes someone say the service starts with bells ringing. And this is one thought about it. And the other thing is you can go out with music, and it's a good feeling to go out with music. On the other side, you can sit down and relax, repeat, remember the speech of the pastor at the end, and you have the possibility to think and to follow the music at the end, and you can sit down. So it's a different philosophy, perhaps, and a different behavior in different, how do you call it, in different areas and different towns. Belongs to the pastor. If he sits down,
then
or she sits down, then people sit down. If he or she goes out, the people goes out.
Right.
Sometimes it belongs to the service, when you have a long service with many things inside. They will go out earlier. They don't sit down.
Yeah, a personal example of the pastor is really important, or a priest in Catholic Church. If a priest, for example, says, "Oh no, I cannot sing," so nobody else is singing in that congregation. But if a pastor or a priest, shows to the people how to sing and participates from the altar, then everybody else is motivated to do this as well.
Yeah. And sometimes it belongs. It's our job as an organist to get the congregation to the song. Yeah, to accommodation. I don't to accommodate them that they can sing very well. And sometimes I play in a small church, so it's possible to go to the congregation and before the service begins, and we train a new song, for example.
Like a rehearsal for congregation.
Like
Sometimes it really works, right? Especially if you want to teach people a new song, new hymn, which they haven't sung before, and they need some guidance. And it's difficult to gather together except for service. So it's a natural environment to come a little bit earlier, like 15 minutes earlier, and start.
Yeah, only 3 or 4 minutes earlier.
Oh, not that long.
Not that long. No, there's no congregation inside the church. 15 minutes earlier. So you have a small period of time to have the challenge and to
just right before the service, you come in front of them and practice.
Practice a little bit. Okay, in that large church you have a long walk down to your organ, but in our small church you can change the setting very fast.
You were playing our organ a while ago, and you asked about the history of the instrument, right? I said it was a rather new instrument, but but we have to clarify that because it was built at the second half of the 18th century, but not in this church, but in the church of Jesuit church in Polotsk, which is now part of Belarus. But in that time, 18th century, it belonged to Lithuanian Polish Grand Duchy, Lithuanian Grand Duchy and Polish Kingdom, Commonwealth. So it was a common territory. But then the Tsar regime came and this church had to sell their organ to Vilnius University, and they transferred it here in around 1835. Vilnius organ builders. Local organ builders brought it here and made it larger. At first in Polotsk it was just one manual with 26 stops with pedals, but then later they added pedal towers and made it into something like 3 manuals, expanded, and even later at the end of the 19th century a local organ builder Jozapas Radavičius made it into the largest pipe organ in Lithuania. But then Soviet time again came, with war, Second World War, and this organ was in such a bad condition that it was no longer playable. And only in the 1970s the Soviets began to understand that this is a cultural monument and began to restore the facade. Not the insides, but the facade as a monument. And then in 1983, they started working on the insides as well. So the entire work took more than 17 years, I would say. And in July 18 of 2000, there was a big celebration, inauguration of this newly rebuilt instrument, reconstructed, I would say. And the occasion was International Society of Organ Builders came to have a congress in the Balticum, in the Baltic states, Vilnius, Riga, and Tallinn. So 200 people here in the audience at that time, sitting and listening to various historical instruments around Lithuanian and Latvian, Estonian countries. And at that time I was, I think, graduating from the music academy, and I played part of that concert with my wife, and another organists were part of that too, celebration. So as you can see, it's all mechanical, very difficult sometimes to pull the stops, but nevertheless it has some, original touch and warmth to it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very, very nice instrument. It's very, very beautiful, and it's amazing to play the organ in such a huge and beautiful church.
Is it somewhat similar or different from your organ that you play?
Oh, there's a lot of difference. Okay.
Where to start?
Where to start? I played at 3 instruments regularly. The first in my hometown. It's a new organ. It's less than 8 years old. It has 12 stops. And 2 manuals, and the possibility to use 8 stops on both manuals. So you can have a very big variety of changing the sounds and on both manuals. So it's very specific and very, very good for such a small organ. Yes, you can couple the manuals in the normal way, and with a 16 feet couple from the second to the first one. So you have the possibility to have a evaluate and setting sound for romantic music. Yes,
do you have 16-foot stops in the manual?
No.
No,
it's very small. So you have an oboe 8 feet. Terz 135 feet, flute 2 feet, massard 230 feet, and salesonal, a flute 8 feet, salesonal and flute 8 feet, octave 4 feet. That are the 8 stops you can change on both manuals. Then you have the principal 8 feet. That's only on the first manual. octave 2 feet and mixture.
Yeah.
And in the pedal you have one register with 16, 8 and 4 feet. So you can choose one register with the different levels on different octaves.
Is it a principal or a flute?
It's subbass.
Subbass, right?
Flute, subbass. Yeah.
Like with extension, right?
Yeah.
In 16 foot it goes to the 8
and
4.
4, so you can have all the three registers.
It saves space, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's a clever technical solution.
The organ is 8 years old. The second organ I played is an org with all this, like here, some old pipes from 18th century, 19th century, 1877, so around that. It has only one manual, but 3 8 feet register, 3 4 feet register, and 2 or 3 other higher register, and 3 register for the pedal, one manual and pedal. Small one, and it's rebuilt. I think 12. It was built up new 12 or 30 years ago. And the third organ is it calls multiplex organ. You have only 5 registers.
But it is
has multi-pipe, and you have the possibilities to choose 20 different registers named, but only with 5 pipes.
Just like the subbass in your upper church, right? Which is extended to 16, 8 and 4. In multiplex system you have a few rows of pipes which can be multiplied in many different other stops, but you only have like several ranks of pipes.
Yeah. So this organ is 75 and nearly 80 years old, and still works, and nothing is changed on that organ. It's one of the rare multiplex organs
in Germany. Because a lot of them are built in the United States.
Okay.
Yeah. Does it have a nice facade? No. Usually they don't. Because why?
It's not a nice facade. But the other, both organs, they are very beautiful. Nice. I can send you some description of the organs.
Sure.
You can put it in the link.
Excellent. Yeah, it's interesting. And those 3 congregations are completely different, right? From each other.
No, not so.
No?
But in first I played near Frankfurt, and there the congregation is different to the congregation near Stuttgart.
Yeah, it's different area, different land, different kind of people probably. When you work with congregation like that, what challenges do you have to overcome? Do you experience any challenges?
We have very different songs to sing. Modern songs, contemporary Christian music, and also classic songs, well-known old songs. And you have to choose the right accommodation for that song. So I said, okay, modern pop song, you must have a modern pop song feeling. You can't play it with a classical organ sound. Doesn't work so good. It can work, but it's made a totally different style of music.
Oh, let me ask you this: do the same people sing Christian pop music, and do the same people sing also like a chorale?
Yeah,
the same people.
The same people in the same service.
In the same service.
Same service. So we have every song is totally different. It could be totally different. Sometimes I played it with piano. Sometimes with the organ.
Do they prefer piano or organ for Christian pop music, for example?
I do both. I must. It's different. You must play different on both instruments. But I think it's both is possible.
In Christian pop music, probably you need to have good arrangement skills on the spot, right? Because sometimes you only have chords written out, melody, and you have to provide accompaniment with your, let's say, left hand technique and pedals if you use them. Where did you learn that? At CXM?
No, absolutely not. At that time in the C exam, it was totally different spare between classical organist and pop music and Christian pop music.
Yes.
It was 1919. To nowadays they get together a little bit more. I think I learned it as I played the electronic piano, electronic organ, and this kind of technique I use for the accommodation of the songs. Sometimes, and I put it together with organ sound, and I have to decide how to do it. How does it work well on the organ?
Does it have a lot of jazz influence too? This electronic organ technique that you use?
A little bit. Not so much.
Some jazzy chords, right?
Yeah. I use the sevens and the nines and 11s, for example. Yes, I think that is important. That's important for that music. Sometimes it don't work on the organ so good.
And walking bass, right? With the pedals, probably similar to double bass playing. Pom, pom, pom,
yeah, absolutely. And you must have a very good beat. It must be boom, boom, and you must have the beat feeling with that song. But it's playable with the organ.
It's a completely different skill set to have for an organist, and there are probably people who play Christian pop music, and there are people who play, let's say, classical organ music. But you play both, right?
I play both.
You can play
I
both.
love both.
And you combine both skills, and this is probably just an advantage to you, right? Because you can work in both markets, so to say, fill the two market niches.
Yeah, and I like it. Sometimes I think about the audience, and when someone comes new to an organ concert, and he gets this modern organ music style and with modern classical organ music style, and they don't understand that music. So they don't get a feeling to that music. That's so untypical to the music they hear in the workday. And I think sometimes we must put them. We must take them to the organ sound. I told Vidas sometimes I played a rock song on organ. For example, after a service, end of the service, I said to the pastor, "You made the beat for the congregation. Stamp, stamp, clap. Stamp, stamp, clap." And the congregation don't know what to do, but they do stamp, stamp, clap, stamp, stamp, clap. And I play on the organ, "We Will Rock You." Yeah. I think about how to create it on organ, and the best way is to play a pedal solo. The theme, the Queen singer Freddie Mercury sing.
Yes.
I played on the pedal with pedals only, and on the refrain you played the whole chord with the manual. It was an absolutely lively feeling in the congregation. They are very happy and they know the song.
That's the most important thing. They know the song.
They know the song. They are participated in the song. They are important to have
with clapping,
to clap the beat. They stamp and clap the beat. And it was a happy ending of that service.
I wonder if your concerts can be even more engaging like that because of that. Because you can not only play, classical organ repertoire, chorales, right, combined together, but also some rock music or Christian pop music if arranged for the organ too. Is if you mix them well together and create a nice arc in the concert program, this experience might be quite unique, I would say, right?
So my last concert, I made a concert last year. This was a concert with film music, modern rock music, like We Will Rock You, or well-known songs and songs who are written for the organ, but they are very popular and popular songs. The whole concert, and the church was full of a huge audience.
And it was success, right? People were probably commenting to you and thanking to you afterwards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Interesting idea, yeah.
But I had one great challenge in my past, and I would share it in that podcast community, or to that podcast community. The great thing on organ, what I did on organ, was a concert with organ and orchestra. And I played the solo part. It was an idea for my 40th birthday. And I decided to play Charles Gounod, Suite Concertante. And it's a piece of music composed for piano with pedals, a pedal piano.
Okay.
And I found it on YouTube, and it's a very nice piece of music. And I practiced 9 months to learn that music. And at the end, I played with an orchestra of 35 members. We played together this piece. It was a very, very, thing for my heart.
Interesting.
Very good thing. And I think it's very important for an organist to learn to play with others.
Ensembles, orchestras, choirs.
Orchestras, something like that. Most of the time you play for your own. You practice for your own, you play for your own. And I had a time of 6 years where I played double bass in orchestra, classical double bass. And it was a very great time to learn to play with the others.
And that helped you now?
That helped me for playing as an organist.
Yeah.
And that's very important. Go down from the organ balcony, talk to the people, play with other people together. 4 or 5 months ago, we had the service for, I don't know, it's, I don't know the exact word. You have a confirmation service.
Yeah, it's like confirmation, yeah.
And I heard that there is a soloist who will play in that service. I don't know what he plays. And he come to the organ balcony and put down his equipment with playback, and he put out a saxophone. And he puts the sheet music on it, a song from Toy Story.
Toy Story.
Toy Story.
All right.
Walt Disney movie Toy Story.
Yes.
You've got a friend of mine. And exactly, I prepared that sheet music for the service. So 2 minutes before the service started, we decided to play it together in the service.
And was it successful?
It was successful. We never we never played it together before, but in the service we played together. That was very great and amazing. Who would play that song in a service?
Yeah.
Which organist and which?
Yes. And
saxophonist.
And people loved it, right? What did Pastor say?
Oh, he's amazing. He likes that I do modern music.
It depends on the on the taste of the leader, probably of the pastor too, which kind of music will be performed during services too, which one he would support more, right? And it's a great collaboration, because if you like this music and the pastor likes it's the same kind of music, you can work together very well. Imagine if you, for example, liked this music, but the pastor was maybe more into chorale singing, right? Or if it was, let's say, Catholic Church, Gregorian chant, and you would be into rock music and pop music, it wouldn't work, right?
It wouldn't work, absolutely.
You would have to, get over yourself and learn something that you don't appreciate. But now, since the pastor likes this, people appreciate that too, and both the organist and cantor probably likes that too, and it's a great teamwork.
Yeah, but sometimes you can play modern music or modern contemporary music at the ending of a service or something like that. The other problem is that we have a very old congregation.
Old?
Very old.
Okay.
Sometimes we have only 10, 15 or 20 persons inside the church, and the age is perhaps 70 and up.
All grey hair.
All grey hair.
All right.
But that's an important thing. The congregation or the audience in the concert changed. I visited another organist who does rock music in church for concert as well. And in that concert, you see other people in the concert, not only the grey hair part. There are men with leather jackets and jeans jackets and young people.
Fashionable.
Other fashionable, other people. And they go to church and hear their music they know, but play it from an organ. And they're interested, and you can play a bombastic sound, and it's good possible for rock music.
Do you use electronic instruments in your services?
And piano.
Just piano. But
Just
this
piano.
is acoustical piano, right?
No, it's an electronic piano.
So pipe organ and electronic piano, right? Interesting combination. They could be well played together as a duet. Do you have anybody else who can play keyboards with you?
Yeah, sometimes we did a test. We had a concert in our church with organ and piano. In one church we have a very beautiful piano inside from Dresden, 20th century, beginning of 20th century, and it sounds very good together, organ and piano.
Now, when you go back to Germany, what you will be working on after you go back from vacation?
Yeah, that's different.
Excuse me.
One idea is to make next year another level for choir conducting. Since 5 or 6 years, I'm a choir conductor for an evangelic church choir, and it's so good feeling of that. And I will make the next level to get an B level, B level for lay persons. And the other thing, I found some very beautiful YouTube videos about Bach two-part invention, and I thought, oh, that's very beautiful music. I will learn it and play it perhaps for at the organ.
Two-part inventions.
Two-part inventions.
Yeah, which are created for the keyboard, right? It works really well for any type of keyboard instruments because both voices are completely independent and obbligato, and they sound like two different instruments. On the organ, they could be played actually on two different manuals with two different kinds of stops. And
if possible, I found when I have one manual, you can just play everything on one manual.
But you could play on one manual too. Yeah.
But it's so amazing. Sometimes I played the huge organ music. The well-known die Moll-Toccata or something.
Vidor toccata probably.
L'Efebure Valley or something like that. Jacques Lemens, also Fanfare Lemens, on the small organ with one manual. It sounds different, but I think it sounds good.
Well, a little bit like harmonium, right?
No, not very.
Not very good.
Like harmonium.
Okay.
It has a organ has a very good sound in that small church, so it makes sense.
Sometimes in small churches here in Lithuania we have, instead of organs, pipe organs, we have harmoniums. So organists have to learn how to pump the pedals and also play historical organ repertoire sometimes too, hopefully. Wonderful. So lots of plans when you go back, learning choir conducting, right? Preparing for B exam. For B exam, it's a little bit different, right? The level is higher. You have to learn more, probably music theory, harmony, and what else? Real organ repertoire, probably. What else? Improvisation, probably.
Oh, yes. I do improvisation for the beginning of the song to introduce it into the concretation. But I don't do great improvisation.
Not yet, you say.
Not yet. Perhaps
and then you will.
Perhaps in future.
Yeah.
There are two things that inspire me to do more freely music. One is your podcast, and your ideas. It's very good for me. Every time you say you must not be perfect, you must be your own, you must be your own personality. And the other side, you find a lot of YouTube videos where some persons filmed their playing, and I think you have two different parts. So very good professionals, and so lay persons who play something, and that makes me feel makes my feeling opener to be I don't know, has to be free to play.
Right.
To play a small part of introduction to the song, or totally an ending after the song ends and the congregation stops singing, and and I get a good feedback of that.
Have you ever tried recording yourself, like I do,
only for my own to check the music, to check the playing in preparation for concert, or not to publish.
Like you were finding sometimes videos which inspired you to play better and in the style of that videos. And these videos are made by other people. You could be that person forever, if you record yourself, put it on your own YouTube channel, and then little by little you make a larger and larger archive of your videos. If you do this regularly, people get acquainted with your style, and you get feedback sometimes. You react if you want. If you don't like critique, you can shut down comments at all. You ignore if you want. Sometimes it's really tricky to ignore those critics, but you have to live with that. If you put your work out there, you're saying for people, my work is here, and they are invited to comment if they want.
Yeah.
And sometimes it hurts, if they find a mistake. This is a mistake in measure 4, How dare you to teach others and you cannot play without mistakes? This was my experience once. I played Messiaens, L'Ascension, the suite, and in the third movement with big chords and passages, there was like a small insignificant mistake, and the person found that mistake and pointed out like that. So then, I usually ignore those people, but I wrote to him You know, thank you so much. Can you teach me how to play this piece? Where is your video? He's gone. No.
No video.
All he can is to criticize.
Yeah, but it's not so inspiring from your side. Yeah. You are so easygoing on it, and it's a good idea to be a Lithuanian or Vilnius organist and publish in the whole world.
Yeah, nothing stops me, right?
Yeah.
There is no rule, no videos allowed to wait. Yeah, anybody can do. If you have a cell phone, you have a small studio here,
Yeah,
production
absolutely.
studio. You can put audio, you can put video. From that, it's maybe it's not the best quality, for let's say CD recordings, of course, or radio, but it works just fine for online purposes.
Yeah,
You know,
absolutely.
it's scary sometimes, of course, because you don't know how people will react. But from my own experience, fear is bigger than reality. Obviously, sometimes those critics send some things to you, but most of the time people are really polite and thank you. So you have nothing to care about.
Yeah, but this is, I think it was a long period of my own behavior. We played organ because it's an instrument upside at the end of the church, high balcony, no one would be around, and you play for your own. And perhaps it's a part of your personality to be for your own and not a published and an open person. I need a long time, and I'm not an open person, but I need a long time to change that. And one part that helps me, I'm since 6 years I'm a chairman of what's the meaning, Verein?
Verein?
Verein.
It's like union. Yes.
Like a union for Christian culture and Christian music, and we do concerts. And as this German, I have to stand in front of the audience and make the greetings and introduction of the concerts. Get the people out of their money, because the entrance is free, but they have sometimes they have to spend for the concert.
Entrance is free, but exit is paid. Right?
So our aim is to do music for everyone, and music and culture for everyone. And we want to we don't want to have an difference between with the entrance if you pay to the music. But sometimes, if you have money, you can spend
donations, right?
Donations for the concert.
10 or 20 euros. Yeah, nice. A nice system. I know in Catholic churches they don't allow tickets, at least in Lithuania, but probably in Germany too, in Catholic churches. But donations are sometimes a way to work around that.
Yeah, and organ concerts are normally with free entrance. In German, there are huge numbers of organ concerts around. And if you open the newspaper in Stuttgart, you can have 5, 10, 15 organ concerts every weekend in Germany,
Nice.
in the area of Stuttgart. So you have a lot of possibilities to go to a concert. And normally they are free. Sometimes they cost a little bit of money. If there are some specific concert or some
Festival.
Festival or something like that. But the most of the series are free.
So then, how do you fund those concerts if they are not paid? Then you probably get donations from people, or from Verein, from organization who organizes this concert series. People on the board can donate, right? Their own collection.
Some members who paid an annual donation, and they help to organize also the concert and the workaround. We sell some drinks. We make a break in the concert normally, and we sell some drinks and some food. Or we sell drinks and the food is for free, for example. That helps to get to get money for that work.
Yeah, I've noticed in Sweden, in Stockholm, they have the system where they sell coffee, tea during lunchtime, and people from not the congregation but around the city tourists even come and buy their coffee and tea and leave the money to the congregation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they have volunteers selling the tea and preparing and cookies and sweets with that, but it works. Yes.
So our members do the bakery and then do finger foods and prepare finger foods. And this is part of the concert, and it makes sense. The audience can talk together and share their impressions, perhaps with the players and then with the.
It's really good that the people are interacting after the concert together like a community, and organists can participate and get feedback from the audience. It's really nice. Sometimes if there is nothing going on after the concert, a person just takes a bow and leaves, in 10 minutes, changes clothes and leaves. And this is not really complete experience, right?
Yeah, but I think it's difficult in such a large church to organize that.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very small church, 100 or 200 seats, and it's a modern church, so built up in 1970. So you have everything together, and the audience must go through the foods and. In such a large church, it's a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
You must find other settings.
So Andreas, if you could go back in time to the time when you first started playing the organ, what would you tell yourself? What would you do different?
What I would do, learning the double bass helps me to learn other kind of for practicing the melody and the organ part. With learning double bass, my teacher told me change the rhythm of a melody. Use the Punktion, change rhythm, change Punktion, play it backwards, do the different things with the melody. Use metronome and go 2-step up, 4-step down, up and down, so to change the speed. All that kind of stuff, and I don't know as a young person. And sometimes it's very good and helpful to learn that. As a young person, I sit in church and I play 2 hours for my own and play and repeat the song or repeat the piece every time. Mostly the whole piece. It was good, but I think to practice in small parts would be better.
It's a nice advice, of course, to improve your practice this way, to change up the rhythms, tempi, and methods of working out with the melody. People can get more creative with what they are practicing and how they are practicing, not only playing from the beginning until the end, but not only playing the difficult spots, but doing some things a little bit unexpected manner. This changes up the neuron pathways in their brain too, and requires them to learn new techniques and new skills.
Yeah. For example, when you play 18th and bum 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 in your music, you have to play bum 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 bum. And you can play bum 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 bum.
Dotted rhythms.
Yeah, dotted rhythm or bum 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 bum.
Reverse dotted rhythms. Yes.
And it's totally different. to play it with your fingers. Sometimes you must remind and think totally different when you play it with.
Or if you dun dun dun, you basically stopping every other note. Dun 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 dun. Or if you stop every two notes. Dun 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 dun. This accent is completely different, right? And sometimes it doesn't coincide with the meter. Or every three notes. Dun 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 dun. And then four notes. Dun 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 dun. That's difficult already.
Yeah.
And you make this fragment longer and longer and longer, and you get to play up to speed. This way. Interesting. Wonderful. Thank you so much. We've been chatting for almost an hour now, Andreas. Where could our listeners find out more about you and your work?
I have no homepage. I have no YouTube channel. Perhaps in future.
In the future, yes. I can update.
Vidas, I sent you some information about my organs.
Yes.
You can find there on the homepage of the congregation. You can find me, and you can find our union, or I will send you the link.
What about social media? Are you on Facebook, for example?
I'm on Facebook, yes, but not very active.
Not very active. So people, if they want really to connect with you, they could find Andreas Spahn, and they could write a message to you, right?
Yeah, you get an email, you can write a Facebook message, or you can, that's possible. Sorry for that, but
that's okay. That's okay. The last thing I was going to ask you, do you know we have this weekly Secrets of Organ Playing contest where people submit their videos to YouTube channel, and then they share those videos on the Steam platform, and then we have entries, and we judge, and we have prizes even. So people who participate in those contests see that their motivation to practice and skill level improves so fast. And I was thinking about you because you mentioned you are going to start practicing for B exam, right?
choir conductor, yes.
Choir. Oh, this is not organ, right?
Not organ, no, it's choir conductor. Sorry for that, to be
I see.
Be exam for choir conductor.
So then it doesn't work, right? Because it's just for organ. But if you ever wanted to let's say submit a video to your own YouTube channel, you can make it as an entry for our competition too.
Yeah, absolutely, I will send it to you.
Excellent.
I use it. I thought about it. Every time I think I'm not good enough. I make always mistakes. Sometimes I make a video in my service. But it's not really, and it's not every time. It's not really good for me to share it with others.
You know, it's such a strange feeling. I know what you mean, and I know how people feel, right? I'm doing this for a decade maybe, right? I started my YouTube channel in 2007, and now it's 2019, so basically 12 years. It's kind of second nature to me to record myself and share it. But for people who haven't done this before, or who just think they're not good enough, it's really stressful, you know. But sometimes we have participants who are just starting to play the organ as a beginner, you know. We have this one lady, and she plays like a simple trio of right hand, left hand, and pedals by Lemons from his organ school. And she puts the cell phone to record, and it's so basic material. The quality is not good, you know. But nevertheless, what she has done over this year is incredible. Their motivation to practice increases. Because of that, her skill set increases as well. So I think comparing to other beginners, she is progressing much faster because of bravery to record herself.
Yeah.
And of course, you could record yourself just for practice purposes and never share with anybody. But then it's a sort of it's a feeling that it's only for you, not for anybody else. And then after a while, you lose motivation. Why should I do this if it's only for me, right? I know how I play anyway, so I might just as well stop, because nobody else is listening. But if you put your work online, somebody else will listen, and it's scary, but also very exciting, Maybe somebody will like it,
Yes.
And
Okay.
people usually
Sometimes,
do.
yeah, you are very inspiring. That's the first step, and I think
It's a first step.
First step is the
the biggest challenge. The first.
biggest challenge.
Like for people, sometimes the biggest challenge is to sit down on the bench. When you sit down, it's easy to play. They will practice for 30 minutes, easy. But the biggest time challenge is to find the time and sit down. And if they find the time, then still they have many things to do with internet, watch TV or watch the movies or go to the concerts. But they still need to sit down. That's the biggest challenge for people sometimes. I find if I sit down, my day is not spent in a bad way.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a good feeling to sit on the organ bench. Yes, absolutely.
And if I sit down and play, I might as well record myself. Two things at once.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much for this conversation. It was inspiring for our people, I hope, and people will use your ideas to get better. And I hope we meet again.
Thank you, Vidas. Yeah, I hope so too.
This blog is supported by Total Organist, the most comprehensive organ training program online, where you will find courses for every area of organ playing, including technique, practice, sight reading, repertoire playing, hymn playing, improvisation, composition, music theory and harmony, with hundreds of scores and thousands of exercises. Here is what some of the students are saying.
Hugh writes, "The sight reading course has helped me tremendously. Thank you very much for your essays, courses, and all your help."
Robert writes, "I found the fingerings, registration ideas, and general comments to be excellent."
John writes, "I have found your download very helpful. It was really excellent. I have watched some of your teaching videos, and when I read your instructions, I tried to imagine you were teaching me. You may feel disappointed that I am 2-3 days behind, but I am a slow learner, and I have committed to taking the time to get it right, as you say. But the other night my wife commented that she had never heard me play such a detailed melody in the left hand so well. My left hand is generally poor."
Robert writes, "It has been a great pleasure in my life of having discovered your courses and material as well as the YouTube work of recordings. You have a calm and pleasant way of teaching."
Ron writes, "Hi Vidas and Ausra, thank you guys. What a wonderful response to my email note to you. You've got me right, and I feel you understand my level of playing. Yes, at home, and lucky that I have an organ for that reason. I am paying attention to this, and I am going to try this haha no longer secret model. Yes, and I love Cesar Frank too. What is very nice about your blog podcast is that Ausra and Vidas are like a Socratic dialogue, and by bouncing things off of each other, so much more information comes out and is expressed. Your comments contain a wealth of information and understanding. I really appreciate this. It is very inspiring and will keep us moving forward."
Would you like to receive the same or even better results that our students are getting? If so, join them at organduo.lt/total-organist. And of course, you will get the first month free too. You can cancel anytime.
Also, if you haven't yet subscribed to receive free updates of this blog, make sure you do that at organduo.lt. By subscribing, you will also receive free video, how to master any organ composition and 10-day organ playing mini course.
This was Vidas.
And Osha from Secrets of Organ Playing.
And remember, when you practice,
Miracles happen.